Hello, this is D and I'm back with another video. Well, as you all know, I own an LG OLED television and it's the best TV that I've ever owned. Now, this is an exceptional gaming television for HDR, for SDR, and of course, for any type of media that you consume. Now, a lot of people messaged me over the weekend, letting me know that they actually picked up one of these sets on Black Friday. And of course, naturally, they wanted to know what are the best SDR and HDR settings for their OLED televisions. Now, it doesn't matter if you have a B7, a C7, or an E7, they all have the same picture quality. The only difference on these models are the sound. Some of them have a soundbar, some of them have Dolby Atmos enabled from the speakers. But apart from that, all of them have the exact same picture quality. So the settings that I'm going to go through today will apply to any 2017 OLED television. Now let's get started here. The first thing that you're going to want to do is put your TV into the game mode. Now once you're in the game mode, you're going to adjust some of the settings here. Now of course, game mode gives you very low input lag and it also locks off some of the processing so that you can have a smoother gaming experience. Now the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to adjust your OLED light to 60. Now 60 is the recommended light output for gamers. Now you don't really want to go over 60 because you can incur some burn-in if you have a static image. Now if you have a HUD that is bright yellow or bright red, keep your OLED light at 60, and every 4 hours or so I would take a break from gaming for about 10 minutes. So I would change the image on the screen so it could refresh again, and then I would go back to gaming. Now there haven't been any real reports of burn-in on the 2017 TVs. Yes, there are some incidents of CNN and NBC burning into the set, but let's be honest here, if you're watching CNN or any of these news channels that have a static logo on your television for 6 hours or more a day, this is not the television for you. Now for the rest of us, I think this TV is exceptional and I have not encountered any type of burn-in, and I actually use this TV as a monitor. Now we're going to go on with the settings here. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is adjust your contrast to 95, leave the brightness at 50, sharpness can be 20 to 25. I tend to like to keep it at 20 as it gives a nice smooth image. Now the color, you're going to want to make sure that it's at 60. Now I think in game mode it defaults to 65, and 65 to my eyes is a little bit oversaturated and the colors are not as true. Now next thing you're going to want to do is adjust your color temperature to W40. Now W50 is the complete warm preset, so that would be a warm 2 preset, but I feel that it's too warm for gaming, and I think warm 40 gives you a nice compromise between cool and warm, and yet keeping accurate colors. Next step is going to the advanced controls. Now in the advanced controls, make sure that dynamic contrast is turned off, dynamic color should be off, of course the color gamut is locked at wide, super resolution at medium, and gamma at low. Now you can adjust gamma to medium if you find low is not to your liking. I find medium just kind of makes it a little bit duller for my liking. However, you might prefer this preset. However, I use the low setting. Now next we're going to go into the picture options. Now inside the picture options, make sure that noise reduction is turned off, as well as MPEG noise reduction. Now having these on a clean image like this will get rid of some of the fine details, so make sure that this is off. And of course, motion eye care should be off as well. Now once these settings are there, you can lock it to the input, or as well you can apply it to all inputs. Now I'm just going to show you guys how it looks in this mode and play a little bit of Need for Speed Payback. Now what I really enjoy about this OLED television is that when it's in the game mode, you actually do not lose image quality. Now I've had some other TVs in the past, and when you put it in game mode, the colors, it just looks dull. It doesn't look as good as the regular mode. But on these OLED televisions, it looks just as good as the regular mode, but you don't have the input lag. Next, let's go into HDR gaming. Now a lot of users are complaining that HDR in game mode is quite dull. So these settings here will help you guys get a better image quality. Now this is the preset that I use on the screen. Now of course HDR is not going to show over YouTube like this, but you will see that it is expanded in the colors. Now, of course, you're in the HDR mode, so your OLED light and your contrast is at 100. Your brightness, you're going to want to leave it at 50. Now, sharpness can be turned up, so I'm going to turn up my sharpness to about 20. 20 gives the image that I like on my television. Now, the color, I like to keep the color at 60. Now, because it is a little bit dimmer, you might be able to put it up to 65 if you like. However, I prefer to leave it at 60. Now tint, of course, we're going to leave at 0, and the color temperature, we're going to put it at W40. Now anything less than that, it just kind of alters the color, and I'm more of a purist. W40 actually gives the right appearance of colors to my eyes. Now we're going to go into the advanced controls here, and as you can see, we're in PC mode, so everything is blocked out. Now as you can see, the color gamut is wide, so all the settings are correct for HDR. Now in picture options, once again, everything is grayed out pretty much except for the black level. Leave this at auto so your TV will set it appropriately. Now as you can see, this is giving a really good HDR image. Now I do recommend using the game mode. I find that the game mode actually resolves a little bit more detail, but if you're finding it too dull, you can use these settings on the PC mode using the standard or vivid preset and make these adjustments, and you will get a very bright HDR image. Now I'm going to switch the TV to the other mode. I'm going to put it into game mode here, so hold on one second. So I'm going to change my icon and I'm going to return it to the game mode. So now we're in the regular game mode. I'm going to show you guys here, and we're in the gamer preset. Now for the gamer preset for HDR, the settings are pretty much the same. Now of course OLED and contrast are going to be at 100 by default because you are in HDR mode. Sharpness, I have it 20. Color, I have it 60. Now the color temperature for this one, I have it at warm 50. Now you can put it down to about warm 40 for your liking if it's too warm for you. Personally, for this setting, I think warm 50 is the best setting. So if you're finding it dark, I guess you could put it at high. Now color gamut, auto should work, but for some reason I find that auto is not actually giving the wide color gamut. So I put it to wide, which gives us a correct setting for HDR here, and the rest you can just leave it the way it is. Now we're going to go to picture options, and once again everything is pretty much blacked out except for noise reduction, MPEG noise reduction, and the black low level. Now the black low level, you should leave it at low, and MPEG noise reduction and the noise reduction itself should be turned off. Now if you put these on with a clean image, it's actually going to get rid of some of the details. It's going to blur some of the things off, and it's just adding extra processing to the image that doesn't need to be there, so leave it off. So these are basically the HDR settings. Now like I said, I really recommend you use the gaming mode for your HDR settings, but if you're finding it too dark, you can switch it to the vivid mode in the PC presets and use the settings that I have laid out in this video. Anyways, I hope that this video helps some of you guys out, and both of these modes do offer a very low input lag, so you will get the best response time out of your television. Anyways, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below, and like I usually say, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
What the hell happened to Jen? Just, I don't know, we'll sort it out later. We need to get to that radio tower.
Wait, you hear that?
Yeah, sounds like Jin didn't come alone.